This year, I get to introduce Raghad Jaraisy, a lawyer and co-executive director of Sikui Aufik, a longtime NIF grantee that has worked as a joint Arab-Jewish organization to promote equality and partnership. Their work focuses on policy. They identify gaps in state resources, they map barriers to inclusion and equality, and they tackle everything from housing, education, and health access to public transportation. It was Sikui that in 2012 finally got public buses to start operating in Arab villages. Until then, no public transit operated in Arab towns. They were skipped. And it's been an ongoing effort to insist on expanding transit services to more villages. Before Sikui, Raghad worked for 9 years at NIF's flagship grantee, the Association for Civil Rights in Israel, ACRI. Raghad is also a founder and board member of a nonprofit called House of Hanan that runs a cultural center for children and parents in the old city of Nazareth, dedicated to the cultural and literary heritage of the Palestinian community in Israel. It's been a gift for me getting to know this brilliant, humble, and inspiring woman. It's my honor to present Raghad Jaraisy as this year's Gallanter Prize winner.
Masal khair. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'm truly excited and deeply moved to be here with you tonight. I'm honored to be in this room full of people who care so deeply and act so boldly for justice, equality, and peace. First, I want to thank Linda and Sandy Gallanter, happy birthday, Sandy, whose generosity and commitment makes this award possible year after year. Receiving this prize, this year of all years, comes with very mixed emotions. It has been a painful and difficult time, a time of deep sorrow, profound loss, struggle and challenges from every direction. And yet, alongside all the challenges and sorrow, what I feel most at this moment is a deep sense of recognition and solidarity. A signal that even in the darkest of times, we are not alone. A reminder that there is still a horizon, ufuq, we can look toward even when the sky feels so full of clouds. Thank you to the organizers of this amazing gala, to the dear friends and colleagues in the New Israel Fund in San Francisco and in Israel, and to all NIF partners around the world. Thank you for continuing to raise your voices to demand an end to the war, for standing for peace, for insisting on ending the occupation, and on building a future rooted in justice, equality, and partnership for all. And to my colleagues at Sikui Ufuk, and to Ofer Dagan, my co-director and partner and dear friend, this award is yours as much as it is mine. It's because of your commitment to our shared vision that I can stand here tonight and speak of hope. Let me start by telling you a bit about myself. I'm a 37-year-old Palestinian woman, a citizen of Israel, originally from Nazareth, known for years as the political heart of the Palestinian society in Israel. Today, I live in Nofa Galil, a neighboring city of Nazareth, built in the 1950s as part of the state plan to Judaize the Galilee. Over the years, Nofa Galil became home to many Arab families from Nazareth and the nearby villages, some in search of better living conditions and a higher quality of life, others out of necessity due to the severe housing crisis and neglect in Arab towns. That's how Nofa Galil became what is officially considered a mixed city, where Jews and Arabs live together. But in everyday life, Arab residents remain largely marginalized and excluded from public services and the education system. I live there with my husband, Wasim, who is here with us today, and who I thank for being there for me always, and our two little kids, Adel and Ramez. I come from two families that survived the Nakba, the Palestinian catastrophe. I am among the descendants who were able to remain on their lands, but the consequences of that foundational trauma have shaped every aspect of our lives. Raised in a deeply political Palestinian family, I grew up aware of the inequalities between Jews and Palestinians in Israel and the injustice of the occupation. During the Second Intifada, a time of violence and division, my national and political identity was formed through protest and activism. But just as I was raised to fight for my people's rights, my parents also made sure I understood that my freedom cannot come at the expense of someone else's freedom, that human rights should be universal, and successful political struggles are stronger when they are shared. They taught me that justice, if it is to be real, must be justice for everyone. While my family nurtured my Palestinian identity, they also opened doors for me to see and know the other. That is why I joined the Arab Jewish Orchestra and got to know and play with Arab and Jewish friends who believed in shared music and shared humanity. As a very young lawyer, I began my professional life at ACRI, the Association for Civil Rights in Israel and another of NIF's partners and grantees. There, I fought against injustices of the occupation and challenged discrimination against Palestinian citizens of Israel. Over time, I shifted into policy work, researching inequalities, advocating within government ministries, and pushing for structural change as the basis for equality and partnership. Today, as the co-director of Sikui Ufuk, I help lead a joint Arab-Jewish organization that works for true equality and a shared society in Israel. We believe that equality isn't a favor, it's a right, and partnership isn't a dream. It should be and become our reality. We know it's true. Inequality and injustice did not begin on October 7th. There was already a conflict, there was occupation, there was oppression, there was inequality and discrimination inside the state. Life was not so easy. For years, we at Sikui Ufuk worked to close gaps in education, transportation, and healthcare, in the allocation of lands, and in planning and housing, and so many other fields. We've supported unrecognized Bedouin villages in the Naqab, the south. We've helped shape 5-year plans for socio-economic development of Arab society, and more and more. And still, there is no denying that October 7th shook the ground beneath us. In a single day, over 1,000 people were killed, over 200 were taken hostage, entire communities were destroyed, and everyone's life was affected in so many ways. And then came the war on Gaza, a war that has displaced almost 2 million people, that has killed and starved tens of thousands, women, children, elderly, that has left behind unimaginable devastation, a war whose crimes and consequences humanity will remember for generations. Both October 7th and the war have been so profoundly traumatic, they sent shockwaves around the world, felt especially deeply by those who, like so many of you here, are committed to human rights, justice, and peace. The pain is overwhelming. The grief knows no borders. Within Israel, the war has been a powerful enabler for the government to advance its frightening agenda against democracy, against Palestinian citizens, and against Jewish-Arab partnerships and equality. Cynically manipulating the Jewish public spheres, they promoted legislation restricting Arab citizens' basic rights, from freedom of expression to employment to political participation. They also severely cut programs aimed at reducing Jewish-Arab economic gaps. In fact, the budgets designated for Arab society were slashed at a rate 3 times higher than the general state budget cuts. Of course, the threats have not come only from the government. Public discourse during wartime has become increasingly exclusionary and discriminatory. Within Arab society itself, we have been facing an alarming and terrifying rise in organized crime. For years, the state's policies fueled this kind of violence and created a nightmare for our communities. Today, the fear and insecurity has reached a level where I fear walking in public spaces with my children. I hesitate to honk my car horn in traffic for fear I might anger the wrong person. This fear has become part of daily life. The unprecedented reality under the ongoing war affected us in so many ways. As a shared organization, some of our staff have suffered personal losses, and many have been navigating immense challenges and personal upheaval. As a result, we have adapted how we function to support our team, and we did a lot to strengthen internal cohesion. And then there's the work. We took time to identify areas where it is possible, even during the war, to continue advancing policy change and to focus on the urgent needs that have emerged. We invested significant effort and resources on preventing destructive moves that the government promoted, and there have been plenty of those. And on top of all that, as the war continued and the damage evolved, we began planning our activities to advance a process of recovery that is fully aligned with the evolving needs of Arab society. As a result of our insistence to keep going and the adaptations we made, even while the challenges were immense, we were able to achieve meaningful progress on many fronts. We fought back against discriminatory policies and legislations targeting Arab citizens and successfully mitigated some of the damage. We helped maintain democratic representation in national planning institutions. We promoted more access to healthcare services for Arab citizens and continued to produce in-depth policy studies to lay the groundwork for future initiatives promoting equality and partnership. But I want to tell you about one particularly significant achievement for the unrecognized Bedouin villages of the Negev that are home to over 100,000 Arab residents who live without basic protection and who are exposed to the ongoing threats of rockets and missiles. Over the past year, we led successful policy changes that allowed fortifying schools in unrecognized villages. When fully implemented, this will allow the education system to continue operating during emergencies and improve the overall safety of all residents. It has been an intense and transformative year that has also deepened our awareness of how government policy toward Arab society is connected, deeply connected, to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and the potential for a mutually agreed solution. We believe that Jewish and Arab citizens have the right to live in full equality in Israel, and that it is the state of Israel's duty to ensure full equality for all its citizens regardless of national affiliation, gender, ethnicity, or any other identity. We also believe, thank you. We also believe in the mutual dependency between progress towards full equality and a shared society for the Jewish and Palestinian citizens of Israel, and the possibility of reaching a just and lasting resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. At the end, I want to say that even in this darkness, we hold on to hope, because we must. We don't have the privilege of giving up. Not now, not ever. People who care are living in chaotic times, with new political and humanitarian crises emerging daily around the globe. It is hard to know where to look, what to listen to, who to believe, how to live with the worry and pain and tragedy of so many, and still carry on with our daily lives, caring for our families, working with our colleagues, showing up for our communities. In times of crisis, working towards equality becomes not less important, but more urgent. It shows the possibility of a path forward grounded in understanding and mutual respect. And I must say, we, the 2 million Palestinian citizens of Israel, who make up about 20% of the population, hold a unique position in our reality. We maintain our Palestinian identity, language, and culture, while also speak Hebrew, engage in the political and civic life in Israel, and understanding Jewish society from within. Our position holds enormous potential for bridging divide and imagining a different future. And we need you, our partners, more than ever. So please, For me, my partners and colleagues, our kids and the future generation who deserves a better life, a better future. Don't give up on us, not when it matters most. Let us work together for a future that is just, equal, and shared. Not someday, today. Shukran.